Hi viewers, welcome to SEKHAR'S Bio Factory for NEET Plant Kingdom with Chlorophyceae or green algae general characters. If you like this video, subscribe my channel and click on bell icon to get notifications. Like, follow and share my videos to your students and friends to get more information in biology related to NEET and other national state level competitive exams. In this video, I am going to explain the general characters of Chlorophyceae or green algae. Chlorophyceae members are also called as green algae because of the pigments present in its cell structure. These members mostly present in freshwater and very few members present in marine water. These are marked tendency towards terrestrial habitat. In the structure of Chlorophyceae members, these members are generally unicellular, colonial, synovial, filamentous, and siphonaceous in nature. The cell wall of these members it is made up of two layers. The inner layer it is made up of cellulose and outer layer contain pectin. Some of the motile members having 2 to 8 number of equal flagella at apical portion. In these members, the cell contain grass green color. It is because of chlorophyll pigments like chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B. Along with these pigments, the cell contains carotins and xanthophylls. The pigments are generally localized or present in a definite chloroplast. In these members, the shape of the chloroplast it may be discoid, plate-like, reticulate, cup-shaped, spiral or ribbon-shaped in different species. Most of the members they have one or more storage bodies. These storage bodies are called phyrénoids. These phyrénoids are generally present on the surface of chloroplast. The phyrénoids it contains proteins beside starch. Some algae may store food materials in the form of oil droplets, but the reserve food materials are true starch and sugars. In reproduction, in Chlorophyceae members, the vegetative reproduction it is takes place by fragmentation and fission generally. In asexual reproduction, the flagellated motile zoospores are produced inside the zoosporangia. With the help of this zoospore, asexual reproduction takes place. The sexual reproduction it takes place by isogamous to advanced oogamous. Some of the common examples for Chlorophyceae. In these, the first example Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Ulothrix, Spirogyra and Chara. Chlamydomonas. The systematic position of Chlamydomonas is it belongs to Plantae kingdom, Thallophyta division, Chlorophyceae class, Volvocalis order and Chlamydomonaceae family. Chlamydomonas it is a simple unicellular pyriform flagellated algae. It is present in stagnant water and on damp soil, and sometimes it is present in fresh water and sea water also. The cell of Chlamydomonas it is consist of two layers, and this cell wall it is made up of cellulose, and some of the motile members they have gelatinous pectin sheath around the cell. In many species, a small papillae-like outgrowth it is visible in anterior region. Most of the species they have a single a large cup-shaped chloroplast, and it is surrounded by a unit membrane. The chloroplast have phynoids on its surface. These phynoids is a proteinaceous body and it is the site for starch formation. At the anterior end of the cell, two equal flagella are present. These flagella, it shows 9 plus 2 pattern in its structure. Each cell typically possesses two contractile vacuoles. These are present at the base of flagella. These are helpful for osmotic regulation and excretion. A tiny spot present with the orange or reddish green color. It is known as stigma or eye spot. It is located at anterior end. This eye spot is a photoreceptive organ concerned with the direction of the movement in Chlamydomonas. Each cell has a single nucleus with mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and dictyosomes called Golgi bodies. Asexual reproduction in Chlamydomonas, it takes place with the help of zoospores, aplanospores, hypnospores, and Palmella stays. Zoospores are very common method of asexual reproduction. It takes place in favorable conditions. In this method, the protoplasm of each vegetative cell undergoes repeated longitudinal divisions and each protoplast it secretes a wall around it. Now this spore it develops two flagella, eye spot and contractile vacuole. Now it is called zoospores. The parental cell wall it breaks and releases zoospores to outside of the parental cell. These released zoospores it becomes into a new Chlamydomonas asexually. Sometimes the protoplast of cell it withdraw itself from cell wall. Then this protoplast it is surrounded by a thin wall. Now it is called aplanospores. These aplanospores they germinate and develop zoospores directly in asexual reproduction. Sometimes protoplast of cell it is withdraws itself from cell wall, but now it is surrounded by a thick wall under unfavorable condition. Then this thick walled spores it undergoes a resting period. Now these spores are called hypnospores. In favorable condition, these hypnospores germinate directly and divide to develop zoospores asexually. Very most important thing, these hypnospores develops a red colored pigment. It is called hematochrome. It is seen in one of the Chlamydomonas species. It is Chlamydomonas nivalis, and such phenomenon is called red snow because of red color appearance. One more method of asexual reproduction in Chlamydomonas, it is Palmella stays. In adverse condition, the daughter protoplast, these are formed by the result of division and motile in cell. The parental cell wall, it is gelatinous and form a matrix around a daughter protoplast. The daughter protoplast remain embedded in mucilage layer. Now such stage is called Palmella stage. Division and redivisions of this daughter protoplast ultimately it produces an amorphous colony with 100 to thousands of cells. Now it is the method of asexual reproduction called Palmella stage. The sexual reproduction in Chlamydomonas takes place by either isogamy, anisogamy, or oogamy. In isogamy, the fusion of two identical gametes with opposite strain, that is plus and minus, to form zygote is called isogamy. The fusion of two unidentical gametes, one is small in size and another one is large in size, belongs to opposite strain plus and minus to form zygote. It is called anisogamy. In third method, the fusion of a small motile male gamete, it is called microgamete, with a large non-motile female gamete, it is called macrogamete. Now it is called oogamy. After completion of fusion, a diploid zygote is developed, and this diploid zygote, it secretes a thick wall around it. Now it becomes into zygospore. This zygospore, after resting period, it germinates in favorable condition and undergoes meiosis division to form haploid spores with 4 to 8 number. Now it becomes into zoospores. These zoospores, they becomes into young one after its release to outside of the zygospore. Very rarely, two vegetative cells of Chlamydomonas may fuse to form diploid zygospore. Such phenomenon is called hologamy. It is very most important thing. Chlamydomonas shows a simple and haplontic life cycle because in its life cycle, except zygospore, remaining all phases are present in haploid stage. The second example, it is Volvox. Volvox, it belongs to Plantae kingdom, Thallophyta division, Chlorophyceae class, and Volvocalis order. It belongs to a family, that is Volvocaceae. Volvox, it is a multicellular colonial algae, and it's look like a green ball, so that this algae is also called rolling algae. The colonial form, it consists of a few hundred to thousands of Chlamydomonas like pear-shaped pale green color cells. Now it is called cenobium. The colony shows a division of labor. Why? Because the anterior cells, these are photosynthetic in nature, and posterior cells, it perform reproduction. In colony, it is surrounded at peripheral embedded in gelatinous matrix. Each cell in Volvox colony, it is pyramidate, biflagellate, and these cells are interconnected with very delicate cytoplasmic threads. Each cell has a two flagella at anterior side. Now all these flagella shows coordinating movement. In the structure of a cell, it having a cup-shaped chloroplast with pyrenoids along with an eye spot, contractile vacuole, and nucleus. Asexual reproduction, it is take place with the help of gonidia. Asexual colonies having reproductive cells called gonidia, which produce a small daughter colonies that are eventually released from parental after its maturation. In Volvox, sexual reproduction takes place by oogamy. In this method, the two types of gametes are produced from either single Volvox or two other Volvox. That means it is monoecious or dioecious in nature. Male colonies releases a numerous sperms in the form of packets, but female colony, it develops a single enlarged oogamete or egg cell. The sex organs are unicelled, and the male sex organ is called antheridium or Androgonidium. The protoplast of a Antheridium divides rapidly to form 128 or more biflagellated anthrozoids or male gametes. The female sex organ is called oogonium or gynogonidium. This gynogonidium, the cytoplasm of this oogonium develops a single female gamete with circular and larger than male gamete in size. Anthrozoids swim near to egg cell and enters through gelatinous sheath and fuse with egg cell to form a diploid zygote. The zygote, it is surrounded by a three-layered wall. Now it undergoes a resting phase called oospore. The first division in zygote, it is meiosis division. It results in the formation of haploid zoospores. Then every zoospore it becomes into Volvox colony. In Volvox, haploid life cycle is present. In this, both male and female gametes are produced in haploid stage and both gametes are fused to form diploid zygospore. It is only diploid in condition but remaining phases are haploid, so that the Volvox life cycle is called haploid life cycle. The third example, Ulothrix. The systematic position of Ulothrix is it belongs to Plantae kingdom, division Thallophyta, class Chlorophyceae, order Ulothricales and family Ulothrix. Ulothrix generally found in cold and clean running fresh water. Ulothrix is a filamentous, unbranched, uniseriate algae made up of various cells arranged in a single line. The basal cell of the filament is enlarged, colorless, and remain attached to substrate. Now it is acts as a rhizoid called holdfast. The uppermost cell, it is apical cell with a dome shape. The cell generally the length is less than width and each cell is cylindrical and cell wall consists of two layers. Outer layer is made up of protopectin and inner layer is made up of cellulose. The cell having chloroplast and it is griddled in shape or collar in shape in the form of band. Along with chloroplast, nucleus present in cell. In filament, each cell have a capability to perform cell division except holdfast, because holdfast it never performs cell divisions. Ulothrix is reproduced vegetatively with the help of fragmentation and achaenates. Asexual reproduction it takes place by zoospores, Palmella stage, aplanospores and hypnospores. Sexual reproduction in these members it takes place by isogamy. In this isogamy, the pyramidate uninucleate two flagellate spores, these are identical to each other. These are produced from opposite or different filament. The two identical gametes in Ulothrix undergoes fusion to form a diploid zygospore. This diploid zygospore, after resting phase, it undergoes meiosis division to form haploid spores. Then it becomes into a new Ulothrix filament. The next example, it is Spirogyra. The systematic position of Spirogyra is it belongs to kingdom Plantae, Thallophyta division, Chlorophyceae class, Conjugalis order, and belongs to Gymnemaceae family. Spirogyra is freshwater, unbranched, filamentous algae. It is generally present in ponds, pools, lakes, rarely grow on moist soil. These filaments, they look like a mass of shining long filament so that the Spirogyra is also called pond scum, pond silk or water silk. The cell unite together in a line and each cell is longer than width. And cell is surrounded by a cell wall with two layers. Outer layer is made up of pectose and inner layer is made up of cellulose. This outer layer made up of pectose, it is dissolved in water to form a mucilage sheath in the form of pectin. Each cell it contains 1 to 16 spiral ribbon-shaped chloroplast with numerous pyrenoids. Because of this spiral-shaped chloroplast, it is named as Spirogyra. In cell nucleus, it is generally located at center with the help of a cytoplasmic threads. These are developed from peripheral of cell wall. The Spirogyra, it is generally reproduced vegetatively with the help of fragmentation. The asexual reproduction, it is takes place under unfavorable condition in these aplanospores with non-motile thin cell-walled spores. Achenids, non-motile thick-walled spores. With the help of aplanospores and achenids, asexual reproduction takes place under unfavorable conditions. In Spirogyra, the sexual reproduction takes place with the help of a method, it is called conjugation. In sexual reproduction, the vegetative cells directly forms gametes. Now such cells are called gametangia. Fusion of male and female gametangia result in the formation of a diploid zygospore. This diploid nucleus of zygospore, it undergoes meiosis division to form 4 haploid cells. In this, 3 are degenerated, only one is functional. This functional spore, with the help of transverse division, it forms a new Spirogyra filament. It is the method of sexual reproduction seen in Spirogyra. The last example, Chara. The systematic position of Chara is it belongs to plant kingdom, Thallophyta division, Chlorophyceae class, and Charalis order, Characeae family. Chara is also called aquatic horsetail. These members are generally grown at the bottom of the shallow fresh water. These plant, it is macroscopic in nature and distinguishable into an axis and rhizoids. The axis, it is differentiated into nodes and internodes having limited or unlimited growing branches. Rhizoids are developed at the bottom or lower from lower node. These are multicellular in nature. It is developed from the lower node of axis. Each cell in plant body, it possesses cellulose cell wall with a gelatinous covering due to deposition of CaCO3. Each cell having a discoid chloroplast without pyrenoids. Pyrenoids are absent in Chara and having a single nucleus. In Chara, asexual reproduction takes place by various methods. In this, the first method is amylum starch. In Chara, a star-shaped structures are formed from lower node of plant with plenty starch. These starch-shaped structures are called amylum starch. It have a capability to produce young one. The second method is tubers or bulbils. Some of the tubular-like outgrowths, these are developed from rhizoids or lower node of the axis. It have a capability to produce young one called tubers or bulbils. Rarely, some of the secondary protonema structures, these are arise from rhizoidal nodes or basal cell of rhizoids. It have a capability to produce a new young one. It is called secondary protonema. The sexual reproduction in Chara, it is advanced type of oogamy type. The sexual reproduction, it takes place with the help of reproductive organs. The sex organs are born on the adaxial face of short lateral side of each node. The male sex organ, it is called globule and it occupies the lower position of female sex organ. Each globule produces a band-shaped, spirally coiled, biflagellated anthrozoids or male gametes. The female sex organ, it is called nucleus. It is present at upper side of globule. Nucleus have a single cell, pedicel cell, and this pedicel cell, it is surrounded by 5 tube cells called corona. These are coiled in the form of a clockwise direction. In this nucleus, it develops one single egg cell. The anthrozoids are fused with egg cell to form zygote. The fusion of these gametes take place inside female reproductive organ. The nuclei after fertilization, it is detaches from plant and fall at the bottom of the fond. In favorable condition, the zygote undergoes meiosis to form 4 nuclei. Then it becomes into cell. In this, 3 nuclei are degenerated and upper one it becomes into uninucleated haploid cell. Now it forms primary protonema and rhizoids. The primary protonema becomes into an axis with nodes and internodes. In the life cycle of Chara, it is a predominantly haploid type, except zygote, remaining all phases are present in haploid condition. Such type of life cycle is called haploid life cycle. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, subscribe my channel and share my videos to your students and friends.